Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has just received Sim Update 6. There are hundreds of fixes and improvements included, and in this video I am going to show you the most important features and changes that actually matter to us as flight sim pilots. Let's start with one of the biggest additions. Sim Update 6 adds NVIDIA DLSS 4.5 as the default native upscaler, and there's also support for dynamic frame generation with VSync. PC users with compatible NVIDIA hardware now have more tools for improving performance and smoothness. If you are running a modern RTX card, this is something you will want to try out. But remember that the best configuration depends on your GPU, screen resolution, graphics settings and target frame rate. After installing Sim Update 6, test your FPS both with and without the new options. Dynamic frame generation with VSync support is interesting for people who want a smoother experience while flying complex aircraft or approaching large airports. For example, when you're flying the Phoenix A320 Airbus into a busy airport, your GPU and CPU are working extremely hard, but frame generation can make the experience feel much smoother. However, don't judge your sim purely by the FPS number. What matters is how the simulator actually feels. Look for smooth camera movement and panning around the cockpit, stable external views, and, most importantly, a smooth approach and landing. That's what really matters. Boost trips are now also back in the sim. You can find boost trips directly from the activities menu. This is great news if you enjoy exploring the world rather than simply flying from one major airport to another. Instead of doing another Brussels to London flight, you can take a smaller aircraft and explore remote areas and interesting destinations. Another improvement for PC users that you might notice is the improved texture and level of detail popping inside the cockpit. When flying an aircraft like the Boeing or the Airbus, you are constantly looking at instruments, panels, switches and displays, and improvements to cockpit rendering makes the whole experience more polished. There are some interesting changes in career mode too. Aborting a career mission can now give you a partial payout based on your progress, so you're no longer walking away with nothing. There are also improvements to how the simulator handles mission failures. If a mission fails because of specific aircraft problems, you no longer receive penalties. Night missions are now available at small single runway grass airfields, including airports without runway lighting, and these missions give you an increased difficulty bonus. The briefing provides runway lighting information and highlights the additional difficulty. Runway lighting has also been fixed at hundreds of airports, making night missions more interesting. Another small feature that a lot of people are going to appreciate is that in free flight mode you can now choose to start a flight without doing the walk around. This option can be found in the assistance settings. Sometimes you simply want to start the aircraft, set up your flight and get airborne without spending several minutes walking around the aircraft. It's a welcome improvement. Microsoft has added mast lights to a large number of generic airports, from medium-sized airports all the way up to XXL airports. The goal is to improve illumination around parking areas during night operations. Career mode also gets improvements to the way mission rewards are displayed. The mission payout and bonus information has been redesigned to make it easier to understand. The old no-skip bonus system has also been replaced with a skip coast system, so you'll have a clearer idea of what you're gaining or losing when skipping parts of a mission. There are also several changes to the EFB and the Flight Planner. The Flight Planner navigation log has been improved to better accommodate longer waypoint names. Runway lighting information has been added to the Runways tab and Airport Facility information. The minimap can now be minimized or disabled, and there's also an improvement to its auto-zoom behavior. If you don't use the minimap, you can now get it out of the way. And if you do use it, the behavior should be more consistent. There are tons of fixes for aircraft systems, animations, flight models, EFBs, weather radar, cockpit displays and career mode issues. Several aircraft have received updates involving their AFB tablets and weather radar functionality, so it's worth reading the release notes to see what has changed. If you fly third-party aircraft, I highly recommend checking whether the developer has released a compatible update. Now, something I really want to mention is that outdated community folder packages can affect performance and behavior after the update. If you experience crashes, stability problems, or unusually long loading times after installing Sim Update 6, Microsoft recommends temporarily removing your community packages somewhere else and then starting the simulator again. A large community folder can cause problems if they haven't been updated to the new Sim version, so don't blame Microsoft if something suddenly stops working. Test the simulator with an empty community folder first. There's also important news for AMD users. During Sim Update 6 beta, Microsoft tested AMD FSR 4, including upscaling and frame generation. However, for the final release, Microsoft reverted to FSR 3 because of incompatibility between FSR 4 frame generation and rendering to multiple windows. Microsoft is working with AMD on a solution for a future update. If you're an AMD user, don't be surprised that FSR 4 isn't included in the final release. Virtual reality users haven't been forgotten either. This update includes several VR improvements. For PlayStation VR 2, the graphics pipeline has been improved, resulting in better resolution in the center of the field of view, better performance and lower memory usage. There are also improvements to VR controller behavior and interaction. This update comes with a huge number of bug fixes across graphics, performance, aircraft, career mode, EFB, flight planner, airports, ATC, controls, VR, multiplayer, traffic, weather and much more. Some of these fixes won't be obvious until you encounter the problem that now has been fixed. And that's exactly what a good update should do. For me, the biggest additions in this update are DLSS 4.5 support for NVIDIA users with dynamic frame generation, increased night lightning, boost trips, and a huge number of performance and stability fixes. But what do you think? Have you installed Sim Update 6 yet? Are you seeing better performance? Let me know in the comments what works better or worse. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching and I will see you in the next one.